coming at you here from the Rocky Beach. It's April 1st, and if you haven't done so already, I did most of mine before we got this last 4 or 5 days of rain, but get in there and try to burn everything you can burn, and get all that dead underbrush out of there and let that green stuff come up for the animals. It also helps you get tick control. The ticks are coming out. Whatever you can get to burn, you know, controlled, try to back burn and then burn into it and get some help. Make sure you got some water on it. This is my clover field, and I burned all the way underneath my house, everything that was burned. I burned all these woods about a week ago. Left of that clover field all the way down to the creek. And then we got about 4 days of rain, which is quite a bit, and a couple of days of good wind. Everybody's wanting to burn because it's going to start turning green underneath there, and then it's going to be hard to burn. That's kind of what we got going on now. In Iowa, you never really do get so much like a forest fire, but you know, fires can still get out of control. I try to burn all this down in here, lighting it all over the place, back burning it. Some stuff catches on fire and burns up some brush. Get some areas burn out. Just keep trying to keep it burning. It's a little wet underneath, down deep, but this just real thick. I mean, with all dead stuff, and when dead stuff's there, nothing else can grow. So you burn it down. I burned that whole field in front of my house, and I put wildflower mix in there. NRCS has helped me with that, and you burn that down and you'll have the greenest daggone pasture ever before anybody else does. You burn half a field and leave the other half unburned, and you think that stuff right there take off like a torch. It burns right up to it and then starts to burn out, because that puckerbrush ain't dead. But see, it's still burning down in the ditches and around here. If I had my way, I'd burn my whole property off every year, but it's like I said, in Iowa it don't happen like that. The trees and stuff don't catch on fire. It's dead in the night. But there's a little spot that's walking along. I'll get the water and go on the downwind side like the neighbor's fence, and I'll run my sprayer through back and forth up and down there and get it wet, unless you got a neighbor that wants to burn. Get it wet, and then I'll light a fire there, and it splits it in 2 ways. Starts burning into the wind, the slow way. That's the way you want to burn it, and then you put the other half of the fire out, and then once you get about 10 or 15 foot burned into the wind, then you can go on the upwind side and light that and burn down into it, and you can control your burn. But it's just about for sure you can spend all day trying to light this spot right here, and when you go back over the other side, you got something across the fence on you. So it's always fun, especially if you're by yourself. But man, if you could get the right time and burn your whole area off, you'd have way better new foliage and stuff for deer, and all the cover for the animals. They'd be eating the bark off all that new stuff. All that dead stuff don't do nothing but take up room. This year probably a lot of this stuff will burn. I really don't want to catch the other side of that ditch on fire, because I don't have enough help if it did take off. But you can see over here, this is where I drove up and down with the boom and got it wet. Then I let it burn into the woods, and then I went on the other side and let it. Because you never know. You know, I thought maybe it would take off, but we've only had 2 days of wind, and it rained for 4 days. So the problem is some of these multi-flower roses are already getting green. See, that greenwood, they don't want to burn. But sometimes you get some of this really old dead log piles, and it don't burn at all, but it might burn off some of the brush and stuff, and all the brush is wound up through it, and it kills all that off, and then it'll grow some new tanglewood up through the middle of it. It'll be green in a couple weeks. You'll never know you burned it. Up there's been smoking for a while. Yeah, it'd be the best for your property if you could burn the whole daggone thing off, but I don't think it happens in Iowa. Anyway, if you got a good spot to burn it, you know what you're doing, or you got some help, or I think you can even get some help from the state if you apply for it. Do a good burn off on your land and get some good stuff growing. Turkey season's coming up, so now we're gonna back it on out of here. We got some more work to do around here. Get ready for the gobblers. Have a blessed day.